good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Those of you who have been with this channel since the beginning, and those of you who have been with this channel here and there's about, and those of you that have been with this channel just subscribing. Yes, we thank God for you. And those of you who are contemplating subscription, like, share, and subscribe. Yes, you're walking with Mr. Clay. We're calling those things that are not as though they are. Yes, I'm Mr. Clay, and we're in the book of Isaiah, Isaiah chapter 30, as you prepare. We see in the book of Isaiah that the Most High is dealing with the Assyrian, the Babylonian, and the Persian empires, and calling them out in succession. In other words, the Babylonian Empire will succeed the Assyrian Empire, and the Persian Empire will succeed the Babylonian Empire. Now, this is the same thing that happened in the book of Judges. The Most High didn't do it on this grander scale, because the fact is, in the book of Judges, the problem with Israel was that Israel did not defeat their enemies. You have to, in other words, we can sublimate it and say, well, we have to put down all sin. No, defeating is one thing, obeying is another. They were commanded to defeat their enemies, to not fear. Your parent tell you to go and do something and don't fear. I'm with you. Go ahead, I'm watching you from here. And you steady looking back to see if they're watching. Then you look at this big old person in front of you, and they looking at your parent too, but yet you cannot fathom that your parent has the strength to do and protect you or see you through a certain situation. Just even the thought is empowering. But we don't want to empower ourselves in that instance. All praises to the Most High. But anyway, this is the plight of Israel from Genesis up till now. This is the plight of Israel. And this is the one whom God has chosen to elect a remnant from the seed of Abram. Through the lineage that is, even today, we don't know who are the seeds of Abram. We really don't. You got those that say, well, this is that and that. It's not nothing against them, but it's just not true. You cannot just pinpoint where the seed of Abram are located. The 12 tribes of Israel are located. You cannot do this. It's just not possible. But God knows. And the fact is that we have to understand, if we're drawn to the Most High, this is where we'll be drawn. Now, we have the prayer of Abram, in which he prayed after he had destroyed his father's idols. And after Abram saw that these idols were nothing at all, just inanimate objects, things that had no life, just like a painting or a picture, nothing. And he prayed, deliver me from the hands of evil spirits who have swayed the thoughts of men's hearts, and let them not lead me astray from thee, my God. Establish thou me and my seed, that we go not astray henceforth and forever. And that can be found in Jubilees chapter 12 and verse 20. Yes, it certainly can. All praises to the Most High. Yes, we're in Isaiah chapter 30. Now, the Most High has some really intriguing things to say about the children of Israel. In verse 1, he says, woe to the rebellious children, saith the I Am. Take counsel, but not of me. Take counsel, but not of me. You will counsel everything, the life coach. You will counsel everything, the fertility coach. Will take counsel of all of these, but not of the I am. How do we take counsel of the I am? Through statutes, commandments, ordinances, and laws. Yes, that's how we take the counsel. This is the counsel of the Most High. In other words, if you want to be blessed in any way, he's saying, adhere to the agreement or the covenant your parents have with me. And if you think that you're an Israelite in any way, this is what you should be thinking about. Not no Jesus, not nobody else, but the covenant, which are the laws, statutes, commandments, and ordinances and laws, not at your convenience like other religions do. Christianity is just another religion. The Torah is one religion. Christianity is another, Islam is another. All of these differ, they deviate. But you just go by the laws, commandments, statutes, and ordinances don't mean you just a Jew. It means you are one that follows God. You follow the I am. Not, as the Greeks say, as a creation of the I am. You follow the I am. Yes. You can liken him unto a father. Even you can liken the Most High unto a mother, and that the Most High will nurture you through anything, but not female or male. And the fact is that this is where we do error. Now, because the Most High does not beget through man, neither does the Most High beget through female. The Most High is the creator. The word beget is always, when it refers to the Most High, it is how you came to the Most High. This word drawn you, it developed you in your mind, it came to you, and therefore you changed. That's what beget would mean when it refers as beget, through. But let me continue. And that covering with a covering, but not of my spirit. You had people prophesying and jumping up and down aisles and shaking their mouths and and all this stuff, but not of my spirit. There is only one spirit. The Most High is the Spirit, is a spirit. Yes, but this spirit is omnipresent. That they may add sin to sin. Be careful of by which spirit you attribute your actions to and your words. For all the words should come from the commandments, statutes, ordinances, and laws of the Most High, other than our professions and our daily communications. That walked to go down into Egypt and have not asked at my mouth. This is the reason he says this. The Most High says this, to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. He says this with an exclamation point. Egypt, the one you've been delivered from. Are you foolish? Many of you still go back to Egypt today! Exclamation point. Are you foolish? The exclamation point would mean, are you foolish? The Most High delivered your ancestor, delivered you. This is the reason you wind up here from ships and gathered from all different nations and bringing into slavery and degradation. They cover you with the word black, which means nothing, impure, when in turn the opposite is true of themselves. Or should I say, it reflects themselves, but to put it on you. But the fact is that the Most High says that you add sin to sin. Now you're going to go to Egypt. I brought you to Egypt again with ships. I enslaved you even more so in Egypt after you arrived with ships again. And you still are stiff-necked and stubborn to trust in the idols and the gods of Egypt, which have never done you any good. You have no friends but one, and that is your God. That's it. Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion. Cursed is man who puts his trust in the honor of man. Yeah, you enjoy your luxurious things for now. Okay, do that. You can brag about how you got this nice car, and about the boyfriends and all this other, playing the whore, and you men playing the whoremongers. Not married, being a baby mama, baby daddy with no structure to your children, to only have the curse that you put upon them through your actions, that they turn out just like you. And then you get mad when they say, well, I saw you do it. This is really how they've been doing it the whole time. The children see the parents do that which is wrong in front of the Most High, and tell the children Bible stories and all this stuff and about the laws and all this. Christianity is only going to tell you the laws out of convenience. If it involves money, yes, you got to obey the law. That's it. Other than that, we have our bylaws. What's a bylaw? Bylaws, the law other than what? The statutes, commandments, ordinances, and laws of the Most High. That's a bylaw. You cannot have a bylaw. If you're going to have a law in the church, it should be the law according to the statutes, ordinances, and laws and commandments of the Most High. It should be that law. You can't go wrong with that. Now, he says, therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion. See, the Most High had already determined how Egypt was going to be treated by the Assyrians in the previous chapters we've just read. He says, for his princes were at Zone, his ambassadors came to Hanes, not the underwear, and they were all ashamed of a people that could not profit them, nor be a help, nor profit, but shame, also a reproach. This is the way Egypt feels about you now. The burden of the beasts of the south into the land of trouble, and the anguish from whence come the young and old lion, the viper, and the fiery flying serpent. They will carry their riches upon the shoulders of young asses, and their treasures upon the bunches of camels, to a people that shall not profit them. The only prophet you are is to the Most High, and that prophet is holiness. An example to the world that they might turn and be assured of what the Most High means by holiness, cleanness, and sanctification. Yes. For all the Egyptians shall help in vain. This is why the Most High is saying they're helping you, but what profit is that? For no purpose. Therefore have I cried concerning this. Their strength is to sit still. Yes. And then you have the Ethiopians going to be led about naked, buttocks showing, and then the Egyptians led out of their country, and then next you know, here comes another row of pharaohs, people whom you see to this day that say they are the true Egyptians, when the Egyptians actually were rebellious. They knew the law. Mitzrayim knew the law very much. Yes. Now go, write it before them in a table, and note it in a book, that it may be for a time to come forever and ever. That this is a rebellious people, a lying children. Lying. He says you lie. You lie to the Most High, you lie to yourself, and you lie to each other. That's what he said. Children that will not hear the law of the I Am. which say to the seers, see not. We don't want to hear good things. Don't see. We don't want to hear what God is going to do to us. Until the prophet prophesy not. Don't tell us what to do. You don't judge us. You can't tell me what to do. Prophet means to speak of what is right. This is the definition right here. See is to foresee. And to the prophets, prophesy not the right things. In other words, don't tell us the laws, commandments, statutes of the Most High. Speak unto us smooth things. Prophesy deceits. And this is what is happening today in Christianity and other religions. Prophesying deceits. And I always often turn to the one who, the holy milk prophet, and then you had the one that told the women to sit in front with no underwear on in front of his congregation. Prophet. And then you had the money prophets. You have all kind of prophets. All of this for their own pleasure and their own prosperity. Yes, and the Most High allow you to just believe them for your own foolishness. Yes. He says, get you out of the way, turn aside out of the path, because the Holy One of Israel to cease, cause the Holy One of Israel to cease from before us. In other words, just say so many things that we just forget about it, or we take it and substitute it for something else. Therefore, this iniquity shall be to you as a breach ready to fall, swelling out in a high wall, whose breaking cometh suddenly at an instant. And he shall break as it is a breaking of the potter's vessel that is broken in pieces. And the I am shall not spare, so that there shall not be found in the bursting of the shard to take fire from the earth, or to take water from without of the pit. Now this is going to lead you to something. The Most High he's getting ready to send his wrath, which is the Assyrian. For thus said the I am, the Holy One of Israel, in returning to the rest shall ye be saved. In returning to what? Returning back to Judah. Don't go to Israel. Stay where you are, is what he's saying. Stay where you are. Don't go to Egypt. Stay where you are. Don't seek refuge from the enemy, from the hands of man, but stay where you are. He says, and you shall be saved, and returning, and the rest shall be saved. In quietness and in confidence shall be your strength. Haven't you heard this before? In the old, your fake New Testament, you heard that, yeah, he said in your quiet. He said, be quiet, be confident in the I am, and that shall be your strength. Yes, to wait on the I am. See, these things they borrow. Oh man, this is good. This is good. The guys, or however they made up the New Testament, oh, it's just so good. I mean, it is genius. I don't think men could ever do that. It had to be some spirit that come up with all of this. He says, shall be your strength, and ye would not. You would not do it. But ye said, no, for we will flee upon horses, therefore ye shall flee, and we will ride upon the swift, therefore shall they that pursue you be swift. He said, the people I'm sending against you shall be swift as you are swift, and they will flee back behind you and chase you. 1,000 shall flee at the rebuke of one, and the rebuke of 5 shall ye flee till ye be left as a beacon upon the top of a mountain, and as an ensign on a hill. And he's talking about you're going to lose. You're not going to win. Because for the fear of fear is not a spirit, but spirits can cause fear in the heart of man. There's no such thing. Now, you can have a spirit of fear that's not a separate fear. Our spirit can be sad. This is what causes your spirit to be fearful. For you are first a spirit, then flesh. You're living in a body. You're confined to this body. It only releases death, and that not inflicted of yourself. Now, let's continue. He says, now, he's talking about one of them shall chase 1,000. You will run at their rebuke. And at the rebuke of 5 shall ye flee, till ye be left as a beacon. The Most High said, you're foolish. You're foolish, period. He said, and therefore will the I am wait, that he might be gracious unto you. See, though his wrath is against you, his hand is stretched out still. Many of you have decided to stay home instead of protesting because it does you no good. You let the Most High do the changing of hearts or erasure of your, should I say, oppressor. And therefore he will be exalted, that he may have mercy upon you. And the I am is a God of judgment. Blessed are all they that wait for him. God will judge to see whether these things are innocent or guilty or not innocent. This is what judgment means. Based upon the law, statutes, commandments, and ordinances. Yes, that is the measure. For the people shall dwell in Zion at Jerusalem, and thou shalt weep no more. He will be very gracious unto thee at the voice of thy cry, when he shall hear it, and he will answer thee. And though the I am give you the bread of adversity and the water of affliction, you shall not, yet shall not thy teachers be removed into a corner any more, but thine eyes shall see thy teachers. In other words, we have to be taught. The law has to be read, and the law has to be understood. All languages, not just English, has the 5 questions in order to understand the text and the context. In context, you have to ask 5 questions as you read along, and it should come second nature. That is who, what, when, where, and how. Sometimes why. I'm saying this in English, but in your language, it's the same thing. Yes, it is. He's saying now, and thine ear shall hear a word behind thee saying, this is the way, walk ye in it. When ye turn to the right hand and when ye turn to the left. He's still talking about the commandments, statutes, ordinances, and laws. They're not boring. You will live and you will rejoice. You can dwell in safety with those around you that are obeying the same thing, that has it as the front that's before their eyes. Yes. And written upon their hearts and their minds. Yes, you will enjoy that peace, safety, and prosperity. Now, ye shall defile also the covering thy graven image of silver, and the ornament of thy molten images of gold. Thou shalt cast them away as a minstrel's cloth. I'm sure many women know what that means. Some men. Thou shalt say unto it, get thee hence. In other words, these idols of Egypt, these idols of the Assyrians, these idols, that the Canaanitish idols, no, you're going to cast them away. You're going to hate them. Go. Then shall he give the rain of thy seed. Now, this is what prosperity is. It's not just the money, because you find out many of you work on the dollar, you hold the dollar, the mighty dollar, which is nothing now. And it's becoming even less than nothing. Most of the nations of the world shall bathe in prosperity and health, even to this day, because the dollar is gone, because the wicked warlock is dead. Thou shalt sow the ground withal, and the bread of increase of the earth, and it shall be fat and plenteous, and the day thy cattle. In other words, this is the same thing as Deuteronomy chapter 28. He's saying, you forgot these things, he's saying. You're forgetting. When I say blessed, in the first verses of Deuteronomy chapter 28. Blessed are ye if you keep these commandments, statutes, and ordinances. But then if you do not, what is it? Curse. Curse are ye in the field when you go in and come out. It's the opposite of the blessing. Oh, my. We will never learn because we do not trust in that which we do not see. We think it should work the way we think the Most High should work. But the Most High doesn't work that way. Your patience. He always says right here, in your patience, you write that down. You go back into that and you write that patience scripture down. You go back up into these verses. He says now, he's going to, in that day shall thy cattle feed in large pastures, verse 24. The oxen likewise and the young asses that ear the ground shall eat clean provender, which had been winnowed with the shovel and with the fan. And in this day and time, things you have them spraying aluminum or whatever they spray in the air to try to block out the sun to a point, I don't understand it. Block UV rays, they tell us all kind of lies, so we can't believe, but it's just a lie. You find out the ground doesn't yield its vitamins and minerals, and everyone's trying to make a dollar by monopolizing on the vegetables and fruits and taking those things that grow wildly and killing them, and they have in the past deemed them as weeds when they're really healing herbs because they can't market them because they grow everywhere. Once you grow them, they will continue growing. So they tell you it's reeds. Understand, you have to read books on herbology and things. These weeds are good for your health because God did make herbs for the healing of man. Yes, he did. Or yes, the I am did. He says, now, let's continue. And there shall be upon, he says, now, the oxen likewise, young asses, ear to the ground, shall eat clean provender. Yes, provender. Have you ever took some manure and fixed your garden, or you took it from some farmer or some place that used some type of pesticide on the grass to keep other plants from coming but just the wheat or the grass, and you find out you put it in your ground, and maybe the first year your vegetables start growing and like crazy, and then next thing you know you use the horse manure or cow manure, and next thing you know there's nothing but grass. All others, they'll get to a stem. If it's past green, it's going to die. Yes, grass. And there shall be upon every high mountain, in verse 20, should I say 5, every high hill, rivers and streams of water in the day of the great slaughter, when the towers fall. In other words, this is going to come. You have three nations that are visiting Israel: Assyria, Babylon, and finally Persia. And then shall deliverance come. Moreover, the light of the moon shall be as the light of the sun. It's going to be bright, or it's on a full moon. And the light of the sun shall be sevenfold, as the light of 7 days, in the day of that the I am bindeth up the breach of his people and healed the stroke of their wound. In other words, it's going to be a very beautiful day. This is a metaphor or a parable, as you would put it. Now he says, now behold, the name of the I am cometh from far, burning with his anger, and the burden thereof is heavy. The I am's lips are full of indignation, and the I am's tongue as a devouring fire. Oh, some say, oh, he's a dragon. No, God is not a dragon, my friend. I'm sorry. You have been greatly deceived, and be careful that you do not wander yourself into idol or some devil that have put an image in your mind to make an image of the Most High in violation of the first commandments. And his breath is an overflowing stream, shall reach. This is how awesome, he's saying, this is how powerful, this is what they understood back then. Yes. To the midst of the neck, to sift the nations with the sieve of vanity. Sift, to separate them with the sieve of vanity. Yes. Vanity. What is it? Greed. This is what he's saying. And there shall be a bridle upon the jaws of the people, causing them to err. He's talking about this is what's going to happen to your enemies. Ye shall have a song as in the night when a holy solemnity is kept. The gladness of heart as when one goeth with a pipe to come into the mountain of the I Am, to the one mighty of Israel. You know, we talk about songs. The old Negro spirituals and some of the African spirituals are derived from Israel, or the children of Jacob. Children of Jacob are everywhere, all over the world. Now we have to realize that the only thing is that now the Most High's wrath has come. These spirituals are given to people in sin. They begin to mock. Even the type of behemoth preaching, they mock to draw you. I can preach about Donald Duck in mockery of the church because, or should I say, of the people that call themselves the church, because they mock. They have no to exact the feelings, to bring a spirit upon these people. But you cannot go by that. Yes, it's a good feeling, but the fact is you have to go by the fact that is this truth? And if it's truth with feeling, that is a whole different thing. But this enemy has deceived you. And that the truth that you're receiving in the different congregations you belong to, you're feeling a spirit. But if that spirit is not the spirit that you have developed, or the happiness of spirit, the drunkenness of spirit that you get through hearing the word of the Most High. Even as David, he felt the drunkenness and the happiness of his spirit. It's not when the spirit of the Most High comes, you're going to prophesy, you're going to do all kinds of miracles, and things are just going to happen. But in your own spirit, when you just get into it and you get happy, people got into their spirit when their favorite music artists get up on stage and they begin to faint and all these. You have to call a buck a buck. That's not the Spirit of God. You think it's truth because it matches your situation. But the fact is that the truth that comes when you know the word of Most High, not just by somebody's rhythmic tempest. No, you can't do that. But he says, the I Am shall call a glorious voice to be heard, and shall show lightnings down the I Am's arm, with the indignation of the I Am's anger, and with flame and devouring fire, with scattering tempest and hailstone. For through the voice of the I Am shall the Assyrian be beaten down with a rod. He's talking about the Babylonian conquest of the Assyrian Empire. This is what the Most High is talking about. He's putting it in a way that this is happening in the realm that the Most High is showing, and it's going to happen on earth through men, direction of men. And in every place where the grounded staff shall pass, which the I Am shall lay upon him, it shall be with tabrets and harps and battles of shaking, and will fight he with it. He says the Babylonians. He's talking about the Babylonians coming. For Tophet is ordained of old. Tophet is a fiery pit where they would sacrifice their children or make them pass through the fire of the M God. This is a real God, a real devil, a real demon, a fallen spirit. For the king it is prepared. The king of who? Assyria. He had made it deep and large, and the pile thereof is fire and much wood, and the breath of the I Am like the stream of brimstone doth kindle it. The Most High is telling you how mighty the destruction that the Babylonians are going to put upon the Assyrians by comparing it to Tophet. It might be the same thing with what we call Babylon. Spiritual Babylon or spiritual Egypt, where it becomes like Tophet, even the drowning of the sea. Yes, we have to be careful. The Most High is really angry, not at the oppressed, but also the oppressor. But if we do those things that are right before the Most High, even obeying and knowing and keeping in our minds the statutes, ordinances, and laws that have been given to our ancestors, even those that were not Israelites, but that had joined themselves unto Israel for the law that I am. Yes, we will have peace.